Unscripted.
The brand new series where I get candid about my life, past and present. I'll be taking you on trips down memory lane filled with laughs, lessons, and lots of unique experiences. My life has truly been a movie, so stuff a couple of cones, twist your wood up, kick back, and enjoy the ride. Welcome to my world. All right, what's happening? We're going to take it back. I don't remember the exact month, but it was 2016. Somewhere around March or April. And I'm in Atlanta. I just got back home after exactly 12 months of living in Austin, out in Texas. Shout out to ATX. Love y'all. And it was heavy on my mind to see what life was like in California. I had been thinking about it forever. And I just had this moment right there where I felt like I was free of anything that would hold me back from coming to the West. So before I left Atlanta, I didn't see a lot of people that year when I was there, for one. I recently, the year prior to moving to Austin, a couple of days prior to moving to Austin, that year I was gone. I just got out of school for engineering, digital media school, so I had bought up some studio equipment, and I really was just diving into learning how to become a better engineer. You know, I was just more so practicing, training my ears and stuff. So I'm there, and I'm not seeing many people for that year that I'm there. A couple of my homeboys, a few of my homegirls, my weed man. That's about it. So that's okay. I told Castro. And Castro, for those who don't know, he's been up under a rock. That's my brother who was original Outlaw member, Tupac's first cousin. Me and Castro were talking, and I told him about my plan to move to California. And, he didn't try to talk me out of it, but he was just like, talking to me, trying to get me to weigh the options more so. Because, it is not what you would consider a good move to move from Atlanta to California for a black person. It's kind of our mecca. Life, it's just a better quality of life, honestly, in Atlanta, because you can live for less money. You can live a quality life for less money. So, we were talking about it, and I remember one of the things that he told me was that, his almost exact words were, no one can take us being outlaws from us. But if you really want your career to blossom the way that it should, don't get caught up in that, under that umbrella, because then you're just going to become another outlaw nigga that's dope. And K was one of the main people that always told me, ever since we first met, that I had that it factor. He said, you got that shit, Q. You just got to keep pushing, So a couple of days before I left, just me and him sitting in my crib in the studio, and he told me, he reminded me of that. He said, you got it. Nobody can take that from you. But he also said I had taken myself as far as I could possibly take myself as far as the music industry. With the knowledge that I had and experience, he knew that I needed to, it was time now that I had to meet other people. So he understood me coming to California. He understood why I was coming to California. So he wasn't trying to talk me out of it, but he would just say, just think about it fully before you do, kind of. And I did think about it. I knew I didn't plan on staying in Cali forever. I didn't even plan on staying as long as I did. Like I'm still here. It's been 8 years. And I told myself I would probably be here a year, tops, a year or two. But he told me when I got out here to make sure that I hollered at a couple of people. And those people were Camille, rest in peace, a.k.a. Muszamil. Some of you know him as Hellraiser. Napoleon, original Outlaw member's younger brother, and Nutso from Oakland, which was also, one of the original guys that when Park created this concept. And he told me to holler at those two. He was always, he always really liked Nutso and, talked about Nutso being a really good dude. And at that time, me and Nutso honestly hadn't even spoke, I don't think, but, just on Facebook. We hadn't had a real conversation. Me and Mill had been talking for years. We were always cool. So Stro had this idea. He always thought that me and Mill would work good together. So he told me to make sure I hollered at Muszamil and that's someone that got out here. And I hollered at Mill as soon as I got here almost. We laughed it up, talked it up, man, for a couple of weeks and made plans to actually do a project. I was gonna pick him up, bring him down to Sac, because at the time he was in Napa, I think. And I told him, we'll get it done. It's no problem. I had the studio set up, everything was good to go. At that point, I had gotten comfortable in my engineering. My mixes were sounding good. I would still send them off to my old instructors and, get their input. But for the most part, I was ready to go as far as an engineer. And unfortunately, me and Mill didn't get a chance to ever do that project. And the ironic part is me and Nutso actually met at Muszamil's funeral for the first time, like in person. We had talked a couple of times, shared some stuff back and forth, but unfortunately, our brother's passing, Muszamil's passing, was the first time that we actually got a chance to talk in person and have a real conversation. But me and Kay had a lot of plans, man, and a lot of people who know him, they know Kay don't really care much for the music industry. I mean, he lost a lot. We had got to a point, though, before I moved to California, where we discussed starting a label, and we really started making moves on it. Like, we already had investors out in LA who were ready to fully invest in the studio, put everything together. We're gonna start a label, spearheaded by Castro, with me doing, a lot of the help and my brother as well. Was gonna be the main people involved. But Kay just really didn't want to deal with the music anymore. And I understood that, losing Pac and Gaddafi, that's a lot, because this is his first cousin and his best friend who he literally was with since they were born. So it's not, like for me, I lost a lot of homies. I lost a lot of people that I call family, but these were people I met, at 11 or 12, which still, is a tight bond. But when you're with someone since birth, that's a different type of bond. So I fully understood why he didn't want to go on with the movement that we had initially planned. But it would have been dope if we did. Just know that. It'd have been dope if we did it. It'd have been doper than what you could imagine. But yeah, man, I had Mill on my mind this week, so I wanted that to be something that I put the focus on for this particular segment of Unscripted. Because Mill passing brought up different emotions. He's younger than me, a lot younger. Me and Mooney, his older brother, around the same age. His oldest brother, that's still alive. And Mill was like my younger brother's age from that, though. So he's like, 4 or 5 years younger than me. But he was a solid dude. He was a mature dude. And he was a very smart dude. And a lot of people who didn't get to know him, except for in the music, really wouldn't know much about him. But yeah, he was a very intelligent dude, man. And also one of Feeney's favorites. That I know for a fact. This is not hearsay through a conversation. When me and Castro on the phone talking, and he was with Afeni. She was in the background. And the statement she made, which I won't get into the full conversation, but the statement she made let you know that Mill was one of her favorite people. She always knew he was going to do right by her. And he did. So shout out to my homie Mill, man. We miss you, bro. We love you. Your name will definitely live on. Outlaw for life.